What's going on, agents? Patrick Wolf here. Welcome to another Division 2 build video. This build video is going to be quite a special one. It is a PvE build. You can use this in PvP, but it is not optimized for PvP, so I'd recommend using this in PvE. This is the Poison LMG build. It's extremely potent, very strong. It uses the Oxidizer Chem launcher to do massive amounts of corrosive damage to enemies while using the Pestilence corrosive damage. It just works well together. It's like a hybrid build and it's very strong. So we're going to get into the pieces later. I'm going to explain to you why I use certain pieces and everything. So before we get into it, let's just go to the specialization. This is quite important. Now, normally with LMG builds, you use the gunner because you get that extra big magazine with 150 bullets. But Technician is too good right now. We get 50% skill power, which is extremely important. Now, you can go for skill healing or skill damage. I've gone for skill damage, but it's up to you. Healing would be great. This build, you'll be able to heal yourself and your teammates very well while dishing out a lot of poison damage. This is the Poison LMG build. So make sure to get LMG damage up on the specialization. I'm sure you guys have everything unlocked. You just have to go through everything. Make sure, I would say assault rifle and LMG damage is up. Then on the pieces, we're going to have a look. This is a 936. Now in TU6, I don't think in PvE you should be stacking a lot of blues if you want to do lots of damage. Because if you have a good hive, not only will you be healing yourself back to full armor very quickly, but you'll be doing it to your entire team as well. So it's just better having skill power and reds rather than skill power and blues, or reds and blues, depending on how you want to build it. And it heals you pretty quick, especially because we're running Berserk on this build. So we're going to go through the pieces one by one. This build is incredibly strong, guys. I'm really enjoying it. So we have got 281k armor, which is more than enough. I could probably push this to about 350k, but there's more utility in there than what you might be seeing. So health 27k, don't worry about that. We've got 3k skill power across the board. It's extremely potent. All of our mods are unlocked. That's perfect. You don't want to see more than 3k. I don't think any of the skill mod slots go above 3000. So this build is going to focus around using this bad boy right here, the Pestilence. I actually just recently got one again. This is a must-have LMG, a must-use LMG in TU6 as it got buffed. It does a lot of damage, has a lot of utility. So let's get into it. Plague of the Outcast. After hitting the same enemy, it's only 5 times, guys. People think it's 10, it's 5. That enemy is inflicted with Plague of the Outcast for 10 whole seconds. Whenever an enemy with Plague of the Outcast is killed, they leave a toxic cloud for 5 seconds that deals 1000% weapon damage per second to anyone inside and inflicts them with Pestilence. This build, it just dishes out corrosive damage and massive weapon damage. It's actually ridiculous. If there's a group of NPCs, the whole point of using this gun is not to kill NPCs, it's to proc the plague on all of them. So when those clouds erupt, your team are just going to absolutely destroy everything instantly. And not only that, once you put the plague on the NPCs, you swap to your Oxidizer, and that further does more skill damage. So it just works. This build works really well with corrosive damage, and it's extremely potent. So Pestilence, this debuff reduces healing received by 50% for 10 seconds. Whenever an enemy is Pestilence will be downed, they're instantly killed. That's more of a PvP aspect. The debuff ripped full armor. That's a PvP aspect. While also gain 20% bonus armor whenever you're affected by blind, bleed, or burning. You don't have to worry about that too much. This is a PvE. This would work well in PvP. So just focus on Plague of the Outcast. It works perfectly with this build. So the secondary gun we're going to be using is this one. The reason why is because Spike will give us an extra 35% skill damage. You just swap this, get a headshot kill, and it lasts for 20 seconds. So you can dish out a lot of damage to the Oxidizer. It's got Allegro and that talent over here, which people love to correct me when I pronounce it. So I'm just going to let you guys read it. So 20k base damage. You don't have to worry about that. The Pestilence is getting 26k base damage, which is pretty good. Very nice. That's a pretty decent amount of damage considering we've got 3k skill power and almost 300,000 armor. So let's get into the pieces. So what I've focused on here is making up for skill damage and damage because of all the skill power by certain aspects, as you can see. So the mask alone is going to give us a massive amount of damage. This is a Douglas and Harding. It has got 5% accuracy, but we have got 403 skill power with 45% damage to elites with perfect concussion, which is active. Headshot grant plus 20% headshot damage. So that works with the Pestilence. It constantly refreshes. So we are getting 20% more headshot damage. You can do massive amounts of damage with this mask. I recommend having it. This was, I think it was in the one of the vendor resets. I bought a few of these. Very decent skill power roll. Then I just rolled DTE. If you guys were wondering, perfect concussion, very nice. Makes this build hit really hard, just that piece. So it's a must. Now, if you want to use the Hollow Man mask to become 100% immune, you can do that. I don't feel the need to because this just gives us so much damage. This is why this build hits so hard. You can hit upwards of 125,000 damage each bullet with your Pestilence. That's insane, considering it's only got 27k base damage. So the reason being is because this whole idea of LMGs, people need to remember that LMGs is about sustained damage, right? It's not a burst damage weapon. You need to sustain damage, proc the Plague of the Outcasts, and constantly use corrosive damage on enemies all around you while healing your team. It's more of a utility build. And the reason why we use this is because you're going to be your armor is going to be getting depleted quite often. It's going to be constantly going up and down because of your decent hive. So you're going to have a lot of utility from the using Berserk. It's a must. It is active just because I'm holding my pistol. So this gives us 8% weapon damage for every 20% of max armor depleted. It's extremely potent. It works with LMGs. Hardened. Obviously, we want some more armor. 39k armor. It could be better, but it's pretty decent. 4.5% crit chance. 8.5% headshot damage because we want to stack as much headshot damage as possible. The one piece gives us that bonus for the proccing the spike on the assault rifle, which is pretty nice as well. Then moving to the holster, I've gone for this one because it gives me 7 to 8 skill power, a nice chunky amount to get me to 3000. And insulated is, you need to have insulated on your builds these days, guys. 30% hazard protection is a lot. Don't be fooled. You might be like, oh, well, I need 100. You don't. This really helps, especially if you get put on fire or any kind of disrupts. It gets it off you pretty quick. Now, you can stack more. That's up to you. Like I said, you can run the Hollow Man, but that's not what this build is about. So that's what you're going to need. With all your mods, I've got 5% LMG, which gives me 6% weapon damage from my LMG, every single offensive mod. Now, all your mods stack Chem Launcher skill mods and Hive skill mods with LMG damage. I'm pretty sure that's obvious, but I'm just going to let you guys know. So the backpack, tech support, hardened. Tech support is extremely potent. I need to explain to you guys why we use tech support and not spark, because we've got 9 reds. Spark would work. Now, we want to use the Pestilence, and we cannot holster the Merciless to get Brutality Talent, because that would be 2 exotics. So that's not going to work. That's why we've gone for tech support. That's going to give us a lot of utility for the Oxidizer Chem Launcher, which does massive damage. I think it's about, depending on what's procced, it's like 80-90k damage a second. It's really good. 11k armor, 537 skill power, very nice. The Alp Summit gives me 20% skill haste and skill power, which is very nice as well, stacking there. Lovely. And then if we go on to the gloves, this is where a lot of people might disagree, but the reason why we've gone for this, 10% LMG damage and then another 10% for Petrov. So that's 20% LMG damage just off the gloves. Now you're probably wondering, why not use BTSU? Because we want more damage. We don't want to stack too many yellows. And this comes with Perfect Terminate, which gives us 40% skill damage. So we are stacking with Spike and with this, we're going to get more than enough damage from the skill. I didn't want to focus too much on BTSU, and I wanted to change it up a bit. So BTSU gloves is very viable. You might have to rework this build a little bit to get, because you're going to lose a lot of reds, but you guys can use BTSU gloves no problem. That's generally what you should be using for any kind of hybrid build. But like I said, I wanted to use these to fully utilize Perfect Terminate, because Perfect Terminate is always active. You don't have to proc any kind of status effect to get these active. You don't have to worry. It's just constantly up, constantly 40% skill damage. We don't have that extra healing, but because our armor is so low, we don't really need crazy healing as such, because we are getting healed. Probably about 2 of our hive drones will heal us. So it's pretty good. I'm sure you guys understand what I mean, but you can use BTSU gloves. That's completely up to you. The Kneepads, 21% skill haste. You want to roll as much skill haste as you can to get your Oxidizer back. It's obviously Alp Summit. Hard hitting is a must. We need that 25% DTE. Very nice. Look at this mod right here, guys. 5.8k armor, 3% total armor. Very nice. Explosive resistance as well. It's a beautiful mod. Put your best mods on. Doesn't matter what you have, but try to get your armor as high as you can. Armor is important, even when running Berserk. If you're running a Berserk build with low armor, you have to run clutch. That's just the rule of thumb of this game. If you don't, you're going to have a bad day. So definitely roll that hard hitting on there. So this build has a lot of utility. I've tried to explain it in every piece. let me just summarize everything for you guys before we go into the stats. So we've got a lot of headshot damage. We've got survivability from Insulate. We've got a lot of damage through Berserk. And because of perfect terminate and tech support, we're getting massive amounts of skill damage without the BTSU gloves. That's going to be, that's just tech support. So 25% plus another 35%. Very nice. And then from this, another 40%. That's a massive amount of damage. So we're focusing more on damage because the hive is going to heal us very well. I'm going to show you guys how to mod it just now. So I'm sure you understand what I mean. There's just going to be corrosive and pestilence blowing up everywhere. The NPCs are going to get absolutely destroyed. It's a very good team to help your teammates. It's extremely good in a team. So this I recommend to anyone who likes running in a team, playing heroic missions. It's extremely good. So let's go over the stats. Let's just go down. Don't worry about Optimus. That's for my pistol. Crit chance, nothing to worry about. 74%. Remember, we're going to be getting some bonus from the mask, so don't worry too much about that. Over here, we've got LMG damage bonus, 50%, which is really good, considering that we're going to be getting a lot of headshot damage on top of it. Let me tell you guys now, weapon damage is not a problem. We are going to be hitting massive numbers because of the headshots, and because it's a bit easy to hit headshots, especially on PC. If you're on console, you might have a bit of a tougher time, but you can roll some stability. It's up to you. You can go for whatever you want. Everything's active over there like it should be. Explosive resistance and lovely 3% there. I bet it could help. This definitely helps, has a protection. That's why I run insulated. If we go over here, skill ace is 40%, which is actually really not bad. The healing is 37k, which is pretty decent. That's pretty good. Cloud damage 40k. That goes up with all of our buffs. It goes up to, like I said before, between 70 to 90, somewhere there. It does a lot of damage. So yeah, it's extremely good. I think damage to elites, we're currently at 70%. But let me tell you guys now, you will be shredding them on heroic mission, no problem. So when you want to mod these, we're going to be using this to heal us and our teammates. You can swap your skills if you really want to. I've gone for 72% charges, buff duration, and radius. That, I don't know why, but this, I don't have good ones good in slot here. Duration is there, which I don't need. Damage, I don't need that. I don't really have the best mods for that. That's why I've got buff duration. 30% radius, 72% charges. Because buff duration doesn't work on the healer hive. It works on the hive that boosts you, so which gives you greater speed and things like that. So don't worry about that too much. As long as you got enough charges and radius to help your team. That's just to help my team a bit more. This is the absolute beast that is Oxidizer Chem Launcher. It does massive damage. It rips through NPCs. It goes perfectly well with the Pestilence. 96% damage with 6 ammo. Beautiful. I love it. This build works so well. It synergizes extremely well. It's balanced the right way. Put BTSU gloves if you guys really want to, but I don't feel the need to. I want that extra bit of damage and to have constantly 40% more damage at all times, because it is a bit of a pain to proc status effects at times, because now if I use this build the way it is, it's going to be a bit tricky. I know there's simple ways of procking it. It's not too bad, but like I said, you can use BTSU. This is not a BTSU build, but I hope you guys did enjoy this build video. This is the Poison LMG build. My name is Patrick Wolf. Make sure to click that subscribe button. We're almost at 10k. Leave a like, click the notification bell as well, and I'll be seeing you agents in the next video. Peace out, boys.